What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Damien After Dark. Did you miss me? Look, I'm back with episode 3 of season 2. I know I'm a week behind, but I'm going to give you guys back-to-back reviews today. So you're going to get episode 3 review today, and you're going to get episode 4 review as well. I apologize for being a little bit late. I've been slacking here lately, but I've been working a lot. Felt like shit. A lot of different things going on. I'm going to Florida this week and in 2 weeks. So I've got 2 trips this month that I'm going to be going on. I'm serving you guys a little nipple, a little boob action. This is one of the shirts that I think that I bought to take with me on my my little trips I'm going on. So I was like, why not wear it in one of my videos just to see how it looks? I doubt I'll wear this hat with it, but I thought I'd wear the shirt at least. And the hat's just to cover up my wild hair. Anyway, let's get into Baddies season 2 episode 3. And I wanted to say this about this show. I really like the intro a lot better than I do last season. Have y'all noticed that? Like, I like the intro this season. I don't know, it's just graphically pleasing, aesthetically pleasing, if that's the right word to use. So the fight, if we're starting on episode 3, the fight from last week continues where Persuasion and Rock are going at it. And I'm sorry, not Persuasion and Rock, y'all. Persuasion and Ann, I got to mix up. Persuasion and Ann are going at it on the couch. And I'm just like, Ann, baby girl, what are you doing? Like, she told us in episode 1 that she was a professional clout chaser, and she's living up to her name, because it's just like, please, you look a mess. Like, I know this show is driven off fighting in a way, but I'm just like, Ann, girl, you're doing the most. Let us get to know you a little bit. Can we get to know you before you start throwing hands and shit? Rock wants to try and jump in with it a little bit. You know, she's trying to get her 2 cents in. Now she wants to fight Persuasion. And I'm like, Slim, you know, Slim was like, let them deal with that. And I agreed with her. Like, why is Rock even jumping in? I know and I understand you had this, you know, you had your own little beef with Persuasion, but it looks like bullying at this point. Y'all leave this girl on like shit. She said some slick shit about you not cleaning up after yourself. I get you're upset. You said your piece. You whipped her ass in the sink. Let it go. Let Ann and Persuasion work that out. Okay? So Persuasion tells Natalie that either Rock or Ann leaves or she's leaving. And she means that. Now, Persuasion, I don't know if you got your wish or not, because from the looks of it, Ann and Rock are still in the show. So, and I understand, you know how frustrating you could constantly have to be to watch over your back. That's the thing about doing these shows. Like, it could be so frustrating to have to constantly look over your shoulder because you're wondering who's going to jump you, who wants to fight you, who wants to do whatever to you. So I get that. But at the same time, Persuasion shouldn't have let them get to her. Like, don't be a it's me or them. Don't do that. Send them home or I go. Like, no, don't let these girls get to you, Persuasion. You did Bad Girls Club. You're not new to this. So, Rollie's in the backyard with Ann and Rock. And in her confessional, she says she thinks Ann is doing this attacking, trying to look famous and get clout. Remember what I said last week, y'all? Or last episode review? I said the same thing. Ann is simply doing this, trying to get clout. She's trying to make her mark. She's trying to create a moment. She's trying to be a fan favorite. But it's going to backfire on her because at this moment in time, she looks a little thirsty and desperate for the spotlight. So Rollie's talking to Ann, Rock, the 3 girls. And she says, you know, before y'all get on the bus, just to let y'all know, if anybody hits me in the midst of their fighting, I'm swinging, you know. And I totally agree with her. And a Rock kind of felt some kind of way about this. You could tell she was looking like, but Rollie was like, look, we're going to be on a bus. I get what she's trying to say. We're in tight quarters. You two girls, Rock and Ann, y'all are the ones who have been fighting the most. So if y'all get to fighting on this bus and an elbow hits me, I'm swinging, and I don't blame her. Like, we're on this tour bus. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. How many people get to ride on a tour bus and go on like this little national tour or do whatever they're doing? Not many people. I don't want y'all to be ruining it on the bus, fighting every 5 seconds, swinging and swinging. Yes, it's entertaining for us as viewers, but I completely understand where Rollie's coming from as someone who's on the cast, just trying to have a good time, you know. She's let's see. So as I said, Rock kind of walks away like she's looking at her like, you could tell she wants to say fuck you to Rollie, but let's be real. Not many people are gonna try Rollie because she looks like the type that will fuck you up. Now, in the future, we see her and Ann get into it, and we'll get into that. So they started this whole tour that they're doing started in Atlanta, right? So y'all rented this mansion for one night. They didn't even do anything in Atlanta. Like, that's what I'm trying to understand with maybe, and I don't want to jump the gun with this, but maybe in future episodes we will see what they're doing in each city. But we've been in Atlanta on night one. The girls didn't really do nothing. So what's the purpose of this tour? You know what I'm saying? Like, I seen in the trailer that, they're at radio. They go to different radio shows to promote. They go to the clubs, like it should have been a bad girls or a baddies tour, and every city they went to, they were hosting a club, and maybe in each one of those cities, a different bad girl shows up. I don't know. We'll see. I'm trying not to jump the gun, but we know how Zeus is. We're in episode 2, 3. We're in Atlanta the first night. They haven't really done anything but fight. I'm going to give it a chance, so we'll see. Guess we'll have to stay tuned. So the girls are headed to the bus, and we can't even get on the bus because Bri feels like it's time to fight Ann. Okay, now Bri, this is why I can't respect you. This is why I can't respect Bri, because a lot of the girls, if y'all noticed, when she jumped on Ann outside of the bus, they were like, oh, Bri did what she had to do. I give Bri her props for finally standing up to Ann or whatever, but I'm like, I don't. That's just me. I feel like if you wanted to fight Ann for what she said, Bri, you should have done it on that bus in that moment. But now that you've let Jayla put a battery in your back, Natalie put a battery in your back, and whoever else, now you feel like, okay, I got these cameras around me, the fans are going to be watching, I got this pressure, I got to get Ann back. And I completely understand that. You want to get her back, and you didn't want to do it in the bus, but you should have did it at a different time when you and Ann had a separate altercation, because just running up on her, getting on the bus, to me, it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel right. It felt very orchestrated. It felt very, pick me, let me prove myself. I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments. Do you feel like Bri going after Ann when they were walking on the bus was a good look for her? Or do you feel like she should have done it on the bus or waited for a different moment when her and Ann were actually, when she had let's just say they get on the bus and they start arguing about where they're going to sleep. Okay? Ann says, I'm sleeping here. Bri says, no, I'm sleeping here. And they get into it. Bri, that would have been your moment to say, you know what? Okay, bitch, I gave you a pass. Let's go. But doing it on the bus, like, it was just like, can we get on the fucking bus? Can we get to the next city, please? Shit. And it's good she stood up for herself. But would you have done it if they did not put that battery in your back, Bri? And by the way, what is wrong with escorts? Because Ann keeps saying these girls are escorts. These fucking escorts. Because it's giving me projection. Ann, are you really an escort and you're projecting it onto these girls? Like, I know a few of these girls do sell pussy, but that's their business. Listen, we're in 2022 where sex work is not what it once was 10 years ago, 20 years ago. So what? Some of these girls are escorts. You probably fuck for free. You go on the internet sticking shit down your throat. You claim you're a professional clout chaser, like you're doing a lot of shit for free. If they fucking for money, they fucking for money. That's their business. But I just feel like using escort as a derogatory, I don't know. I don't know. I guess when you're in the moment and you're fighting with somebody, sometimes all bets are off and you use whatever in the moment. So I'm gonna give Ann a pass on that one. So the girls get on the bus and they are having they're playing little games and whatnot. And one of the games is who can suck a banana, who can take a banana down their throat the farthest, right? And Natalie gulped that bitch. Natalie had the bitch all down her motherfucking throat. Now Natalie. All the rumors are sounding like they true, girl. Them Dubai trips and stuff, cause Rock says, so they move on from the banana sucking game, whatever, and they go on to Never Have I Ever. Rock says, never have I ever ate pussy. And I'm surprised that just about every girl on the bus drank. Like, every girl on the bus gets down like that, just about. And I'm surprised Rock said she did. Rock said, never have I ever ate pussy. If there was anybody on the bus that I would have thought ate some pussy, it would have been Rock. Now, I'm not trying to judge her based off her appearance or nothing, but she gives me very much tomboy. You know, I would eat a box. I would go downtown for a night, and that's no shade. She just gives me that. She gives me edgy, sexy bisexual girl. She's a really pretty girl, in my opinion. She really is. I just get a little bye-bye from her, you know? Bri says, never have I ever had a dick in my butt. Bri says, never have I ever had a dick in my butt. And Persuasion says, her and her ex-baby daddy did anal for almost 4 hours straight one time. And did anybody else peep how J-Lo was looking at Persuasion? When Persuasion was talking about how her and her baby daddy did anal for 4 hours straight, J-Lo's over here like, you know, and I don't want to put this on J-Lo, but she gives me homophobic tease, okay? She really does. And I don't want to put that on her, but in the past, if you've watched things that J-Lo has been on, if you've watched her lives, things like that, she just says shit that makes you go, And I'm not trying to incorporate Persuasion having anal sex for 4 hours to and Jayla's reaction to her being homophobic, because you can't just equate anal sex with gay people. However, it's quite strange that any little thing. And here's another example. Saucy Santana said something recently in the news about how gay men run the world or something, and how women need them for this and women need them for that. And Jayla went off. And I'm not saying she's not entitled to her opinion, but it made me look at her like, you know, you've been waiting for that moment to go. Because she called Saucy Santana a big back, no neck. Like, I'm just like, whoa, where is all this coming from? Like, I just feel like Jayla is one of those females who deep down has, maybe not hate the gay community, might not be homophobic, but she has a chip on her shoulder a little bit. Maybe that's just me. Somebody let me know in the comments. Has anybody else ever peeped that about Jayla? Maybe it's just me. You know, go to her Twitter. Go scroll through her Twitter and let me know what y'all think after you look at that. So Persuasion and Rock have this kind of heart-to-heart on the bus. Persuasion starts crying. She's talking about her past. All of a sudden, she says that, you know, it's almost like she apologizes to Rock as well about their situation. She never meant to piss her off. She wishes she would have went about it a different way. And then it goes from that to Jayla starts crying about, not Jayla, but Persuasion starts crying, saying that, you know, before she came here, she learned that she had beat cancer. And I'm sorry, y'all, one of these notes, I'm so weak, because one of these notes, it says, y'all remember when Rock said, I'm sorry for saying you're ugly without your wig on. Or she was like, all I said was you're ugly without your wig on. Like, I died when she said that because Rock is one of those people who doesn't really have to try, and she's funny. Rock is the, um, shit, y'all, I'm sorry. What's his name? Gutta. Rock gives me Gutta vibes in her confessional. Like, I feel like she's the Gutta of this season. Even though Gutta didn't really get in any fights on his show, like, I don't know. I get that vibe from him, from Rock. So yeah, they're having that heart to heart. Rock and Persuasion hug it out. And you know, even though a lot of the girls and even Rock don't believe that Persuasion had cancer, they kind of maybe think she's bringing this up for sympathy at the right moment. But even though they all believe that, Persuasion does apologize to Rock, and Rock does hug her. They kind of hug it out, and it's a moment that I actually enjoyed seeing because for once we get to see a vulnerable moment with these girls just letting their walls down. They're not fighting, you know, they're trying to understand and get to know one another. They're trying to be a little bit more loving instead of just always yelling and trying to be the baddest all the time. It was a great moment to see, and I really hope we see more things like this on the show in the future because, you know, these are things that are relatable, not just the fighting and the bitches and the hoes and all, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is stuff that we as the viewers like to see. Okay, so I wanted to go back to the part where Persuasion talks about how she had cervical cancer, or she thought she had cervical cancer, and then she got the results back before she came on the show or the day of and found out that she didn't have cancer. Rock says, why are you coming on a reality show if you thought you had cancer? Maybe she needed the money, you know what I'm saying? Like, so in that moment, I kind of felt bad for Persuasion until she kept going, which we'll get to that. But the girls were kind of questioning her. Jayla even said, you know, she doesn't believe it, says it was probably an irregular pap smear. And I'm kind of like, you know, as women, how would y'all sit here and judge another woman who's being vulnerable with you and being open with you and saying, look, I thought I had cervical cancer, now I don't. Like, I understand the time that Persuasion did it, how when she brought it up was kind of the wrong time, I feel like. However, I feel like that could have been a moment that they could have been more there for her. Instead of being in confessionals, making fun of it in a way and saying that she's lying in a way. I feel like as women, they could have been there for her. Now, like I said, maybe she needed the money. We'll never know. Who, you know, cancer, if she thought she had it, maybe she was thinking in her mind, I'm going to have money for these treatments and to do these certain things and to pay my bills. Let me go on this show and make some money. Then again, you know, at the same time, who knows? If you think you do have, I can't speak from somebody in that position because I've never been in that position, knock on wood. Someone that has cancer, so I can't judge in that position. But I guess where Rock was coming from was like probably thinking someone who has cancer has so many concerns and they're probably gonna, you know, they probably don't feel the best. Why would you come on a show? However, we can't judge Persuasion for that because we don't know what her situation was. We don't know. Now, this is where Persuasion went left for me, to where I was like, okay, girl, now you're doing too much. Like, pump the brakes a little bit. So Persuasion starts bringing up how she's tried to kill herself. She's been in mental institutions and like all this different stuff. And I'm like, girl, read the room. It's the timing for me. If you wanted to be vulnerable and talk about the cancer scare, I get it. Okay. You could have talked about it with those girls, tried to get them to relate with you a bit. But now when you keep throwing out suicide and, you know, mental institutions and all this different stuff, it just really comes off like, feel bad for me. Please feel bad for me. I know I fucked up. I know all y'all girls don't like me. So feel bad for me in this moment. I'm not taking away what Persuasion has gone through, and I'm not saying that she's lying. I just felt like it was the wrong time. I felt like she should have gave that a little bit of time before she was just, you know, pouring all that out. But hey, so they pull up to their house in Charlotte, and they have a lake house. So we get to this really nice, beautiful lake house, and I guess every city they go to, Zeus is gonna rent them a really big mansion, or a really big home. And in their rooms, Anne and Rock are sharing a room. And Rock talks about Persuasion's meltdown that she had on the bus, and sort of mocking and making fun of it. Rock also says she feels like Persuasion's apology was not real, which I'm shocked to hear. I was shocked to hear her say that, because watching the scene itself, seeing Rock hug Persuasion, I thought it was a real moment, because Rock seems like one of those girls who isn't going to fake the funk. Like, if she didn't want to hug Persuasion, I feel like Rock's the type that's not going to hug her, that she would have been like, I'm done with you, bitch. But apparently not. Apparently she was being fake with her on the bus. I don't know. Because you're saying in the room in the lake house, you don't believe Persuasion, you feel like her apology was fake, this, that, and the third. But why didn't you say that to her on the bus? Maybe she didn't want the drama. Maybe she just wanted to have a peaceful ride to Charlotte, which I can kind of understand. But I feel like this between Rock and Persuasion now is gonna bubble, because Persuasion feels like it's been done and they've brushed it under the rug, or they've squashed it, I mean. And Rock is over here like, okay, that apology wasn't real. I really don't fuck with you. So I guess we'll get to see more of what happens between them two in the future. So Ann tells Rock, let's go push bitches out the house like it's the Bad Girls Club. Now, that sentence right there, like, bing, set a light bulb off in my head when it comes to Miss Annie Oakley, okay? Ann told Rock, let's go push these bitches out the house like it's the Bad Girls Club, right? That right there solidified for me why Ann has been acting the way that she's been acting. She was a Bad Girls Club fan. She was never on the show, so she feels like she has to redeem herself, and not really redeem herself, she has to prove herself to these other bad girls. Even though Slim, Rollie, and Rock were never on Bad Girls Club, I feel like Ann wants to be a part of the Jayla and Natalie gang, if that makes sense. Because if you notice, Ann has not crossed or said anything smart to Jayla or Natalie since they've been there. And I feel like she wants to be a Natalie lapdog or a Natalie puppet, or she wants to be a Destiny's Child, but she's gonna be the not Kelly, not Beyonce, she's gonna be the Michelle of the group. Ann would be, because you'd have Natalie, you'd have Jayla, then you would have Ann. I feel like that's why she's been doing all this fighting, this hooping and hollering, doing the most, trying to antagonize different women and start shit, because she wants to have a moment. She wants to be iconic. She wants to be known as one of the iconic bad girls from this franchise. I mean, she's telling us that. Let's go push these girls out of here like it's the Bad Girls Club. She's trying to replicate the Bad Girls Club, and I hate to break it to you, Ann, you will never, ever replicate the Bad Girls Club. And just like I said in one of my prior videos, the glory days of BGC is over, okay? Fans like myself who had high hopes for Baddies and hoping it was gonna be a revamp and a remake of Bad Girls Club, we were disappointed, because Baddies is something different now than Bad Girls Club. It's not the same. They're going in a completely different direction. So you have to brand yourself through Baddies and not through Bad Girls Club. Find yourself through this show, through this brand, through this ensemble. Stop trying to replicate what Bad Girls Club has already done, because we as the fans have already seen it. We as the fans can see right through it, and we as the fans don't want to see it replicated, okay? So stop, Ann. Stop trying to be something you're not, and let us see you for who you are, okay? So Ann and Rollie kind of get into a little bit of a back and forth and an argument, because Ann tells Rollie to get out of her room with Bri. So Rollie and Bri were in, I guess, Ann's room, or somewhere near Ann's room. I don't know if Rollie and Ann are sharing rooms or what, but Rollie and Bri were in Ann's room rolling a blunt, and Ann didn't like it. And Rollie claims they were not in her room. So they weren't in her room, but I guess I don't know. The cameras didn't show any footage, so we don't know. But Ann is claiming that they were in her room. I just think she wanted a reason to go off yet again. She wanted a reason to have a moment yet again. She's trying to have a bad girls club moment yet again, and it's not gonna stick because Rollie puts her in her motherfucking place. And I was all here for it. I was like, yes, Rollie, get that bitch. So when Ann and Rollie kind of get in one another's face, and they're going back and forth, and they're getting close, and da 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 da, this, and all of a sudden, bop! Y'all got that? Ba da 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 da, bop! I was like, yes. And I don't know why we get off on this kind of entertainment. I don't know why, but I feel like that was coming to her. Ann has been running her mouth since the first fucking episode, and Rollie finally put her in her place. And I hope that now she'll shut the fuck up, man, and you'll fall in line, because you done tried persuasion. You realize persuasion ain't going back down from you either. Now Rollie's done had to hand it to your ass. Who's next? And who's gonna get on you next? Because we're in episode 3, and none of these bitches pretty much like you. I think Rock is the only girl who pretty much fucks with Ann. I don't know, maybe that'll change throughout the season, but I was so glad when Rollie put the pause on her. Like, now will you shut up, Ann? Like, you don't want the smoke with Rollie. You do not want the smoke with Rollie. I don't want the smoke with Rollie. Do you want the smoke with Rollie at home? Rollie looked like she got all the smoke. And I didn't watch her show or her season on One More Chance. So somebody let me know in the comments, whose side are you on, Rollie's or Ann's side? Also, do you feel like Ann is trying to replicate the Bad Girls Club and have an iconic moment throughout all of her fighting and shit that she's doing? Let me know in the comments below. What did you think of episode 3? I want to hear from you. Stay tuned. Episode 4 review is coming right after this one. Thank y'all so much for your patience, and I appreciate you watching Baddies Season 2 Episode 3 review, and we will see you next time on Damien After Dark. See ya.